11th, and this is our policy committee meeting. We do have one policy on the agenda for today. Spouse Esme has not even really the policy, but it's mandatory to have the policy in place for the beginning of the school year, which necessitates a discussion in July and August. So it can go for first read and second read to be in place. So they did a summary first of it, and they don't have all of the guidelines down from the Department of Education yet. So I think they cobbled together what they're anticipating coming down, put something together to pass down to the LEAs, and then are anticipating having to revise it as necessary once the real guidelines come out. I think I got that.
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah.
We're all waiting on the more detail that they announced they were going to provide us last October. So Strauss Esme basically said, in order for you to have this in place, you have to take action now. We're going to do a general policy based off of what we can glean from the law, and we'll update it once their guidance comes out.
And so at this point, we're looking to just adopt the cookbook that Strauss Esme is sending. There's no district level menu choices or whatever to choose between or discussion between. And basically, it's just giving that these threat assessment teams need to be established, and it defines who are the principals in that team, which I think we were already
Correct.
In compliance with and have done.
So we put training in place. We approved it mid-year last year. We have 3 staff members at each elementary building that went through behavioral threat assessment team training. It's called CSTAG, CSTAG. And we have up to 5 at the high school and the middle school. So we are trained on behavioral threat assessment. We have core members of this group that are trained. They've also, even before this training, had been equipped to do this, because part of this also links with some of the suicide screenings and things that we do. There's some commonalities there. So what we'll do moving forward is we'll assess, based on the training that we have, if there's any additional needs that these teams have once we get the guidance and the formal guidelines from the state, to see if there's anything that we need to supplement. But we're in a very good position to start the school year. I would anticipate the August or September board meeting to see a board approval for these staff members to be officially noted as the threat assessment team. But it has a very close similarity to our school safety teams. So we have had for this past year things in place, and we've actually screened students already for this. Now we just have a more formal way to do it.
and so this puts regulation or whatever into play for what to do when there's the perception of a threat and how to assess
Yeah,
the
so there's
viability of that threat and where to go from here, like whether it's smoke and mirrors or something where we engage law enforcement, mental health or whatever.
Yep, and then there's also a big piece of this is a plan for supporting a student who may present this way. So even if it's not an immediate threat, which most of the times it's not, more than not, it's not an immediate threat. But how do we support this student that may be presenting? And that's what they were trained in. There's a plan, there's a, communication with the parents, law enforcement if needed, there's a whole system in place that would support these students. Because that's really the goal, is help the student that may be in a situation that we don't want them to be ever in. So.
And out of curiosity, the people that get assigned to the assessment team, are these like stipend positions, or they're just?
As of now, it's not a stipend position. That is something that's why I'm thinking August or September, once this, right now they act in their role as a school psychologist, counselor, building administrator, those are the people involved in the screenings. Now that we assign a formal name to it, I don't know what direction it's going to take us in terms of association business.
Yeah,
I mentioned something in there.
as soon as I saw TV staff members, I was like, ooh, that's gonna trigger something with the contract. Okay. Good. All right, anyone have any questions? Not, we'll recommend it for first read as this one's just Esme, with that caveat of knowing that it's probably gonna change a little, but should be mostly intact. All right, that is all we have for policy. So that concludes our committee meeting. Thank you.